So today we're going to speak a little bit about power chords, or rather alternative to power chords. So my hope is that this is going to be a session where even if you just starting out with the guitar, you're going to take something with you and you can actually maybe start using this and, I don't know, jam around or write your first riff, or why not your first song. Before we get started, I'm just going to play a little bit and give people some time to tune in, and then we will get speaking. Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to cover these power chords, or alternative to power chords, in the key of E minor. So you're going to definitely be able to apply it to riffs you already play, because a lot of riffs on the guitar are in E minor, since we have the low E string so conveniently here. Okay, so I'm just gonna hope and assume that many of you are somewhat familiar with the concept of like the key of E minor. So a lot of time whenever you do riffing and you use this low E string as your pedal note, hey there, Snow Queen, what's up? You're gonna be in E minor. So whenever you have a riff that does something like this, it's probably in E minor. So if you are in E minor, then you might have also played, these power chords like G5, A5, B5, maybe even C5, D5, C5, B5, A5. Danny, what's up? Doing good. Cool. So then you have an opportunity to add new stuff to your playing. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to look at some alternative chord shapes. And if I just jam around a little bit, I'm going to see if I can use these chord shapes. I'm going to be mixing them up with standard 5 shapes. It's the only Petrucci I know. So the first one is going to be a inverted D dyad, but it doesn't matter. Don't care about the name. We're just going to be thinking not in terms of a G5 power chord, but something with F sharp. So we're going to place our index finger on the 2nd fret and our pinky on the 5th fret. And we get this chord. Now on its own, it sounds a little bit dissonant, and that's going to be a returning theme for all these chords. These chords are not as stable as your 5 chord. A 5 chord, you can play it and you can kind of let it ring and it doesn't sound horrible, but these chords, they are a bit more unstable. And that's the whole point. I'm showing you stuff that isn't as common, but that doesn't mean it's not usable. And we're going to look exactly at how you can use these chords. I'm crappy at singing, and I should say that my intention is to go through these chords, and then afterwards we can speak about whatever you want, and we can jam away and do all that good stuff. But anyhow, if you have this chord, we can call it an inverted D major chord. If your bandmate is playing a D chord, you can definitely try this power chord. So if we go from a standard G5 to this chord, and then to E5, you're gonna hear how this chord suits very well. So, there you have it. That's your inverted D major chord. Now, don't care about the names here. Now I want to show you another version of a D or a major sound, and we're going to be playing a major triad. So this. Now, if you've seen a C chord like this, then you've probably seen these two notes played together. Of course, the difference is here we're not going to be playing all the strings. That typically doesn't work well when you're riffing and you're playing with a lot of distortion. So you want to be playing at most 3 strings, but most of the time rather 2 strings if you're going for a chord sound. So we're going to be playing the 3rd fret A string and the 2nd fret D string, and we get this. And that also works really well for. But the good thing here is we can easily slide this one around, and we're going to get the sound of the E harmonic minor scale. So we do. So you can hear how I'm easily able to jam around just by sliding this chord back and forth. So if there are so many opportunities just with this chord shape, what happens if we combine this chord shape with the previous one I showed you? Again, you're going to find out all these chords work in E minor, and E harmonic minor is pretty much the same scale. We change one note just to, but that's a very common thing to do in E minor. So you can definitely try sliding this chord shape down, and you're going to get a very special feel in your E minor song. How often do I make videos? Well, I've started making these videos every morning now, European morning. So around this time, you're going to find me here. We'll see. I hope to keep on going, but it's also a matter of finding relevant stuff to speak to you about. So, but I hope I'm going to keep on going for a long time because it's just an awesome way to connect with you guys, and it seems you guys are enjoying it, and that makes me really happy. So. We've explored 2 chord shapes. These chord shapes can be moved around in E minor. So for example, you can also play the wide shape here. You can slide that up to the 7th fret. And it adds a lot of tension. It's unstable, but it sounds awesome if you resolve back to E again. So you could go up to E here if you want, on the 7th fret. So A string 7th fret, D string 9th fret, and G string 9th fret. So if you do. Then we can even add these other major dyad kind of shapes up here on the 8th fret and on the 7th fret. And here we can also add, make it a little bit more complicated, but it's a very nice voicing. So we can add our pinky as well. So if we play the 8th fret on the E string, and we play this, the 7th fret on the E string, the 6th fret on the A string, and we can add the pinky on the 9th fret D string. So we get... So, sounds a little bit progressive. It is progressive. I mean, that's one of the trademarks of, you know, progressive bands like, well, Dream Theater and others, to add more complex chords. Even the guitar is doing that. A lot of times these complex chords belong more to maybe the keyboardist or someone like that. And that has to do with the limitation of distortion, right? We can't have too many notes ringing at the same time because we can't hear them. So, Pimp, my string gauge, on this one, I think it's 09 to 46. So a little bit heavier on the bottom strings. Oh, Chris is asking for my old loner. I'm gonna have to revisit those, can't even play them. So that's one of my old songs right there. Thanks for asking. So here are a few examples of chords that you can play, basically, and it works in E minor. And I'm not going to overwhelm you with even more chords. I think this is more than enough to jam away. I'm just going to play a little bit more with the chords I've shown you, and I'm also going to take them up and play them on the D and the G string, because that adds a really nice effect. So what I like to do with these chord shapes and with any chord shapes is to basically alternate between rhythm and lead, and that's what you heard me do there. There are many advantages to that, and you're going to find me speaking quite a bit about this. And it's basically something I've evolved into doing more and more of that. You know, I was always kind of separating my jamming, my lead playing, and my songwriting and riffing, and those were two things that, you know, never met each other. They were like in two different dimensions. But now I realize that if I can combine them, not only does it sound better, but it's like the best way to practice, because you get all the rhythmic information kind of through osmosis goes into your lead playing, and it's just becomes so much better, and it kind of fixes some timing issues that I've had with my lead playing. So I do recommend you use these chord shapes and just riff around and play lead as well. I don't know where the Easter Bunny hides his eggs. Beat it. I don't know. I just did it instead of over the round. So yeah, let's see if we can. We typically would be kind of cool to find some metal backing track. Let's see, or at least something rock and roll sounding. So this would be in B, I think. So there you can hear me use these power chords when playing rhythm over this random backing track which I found at GMC. Pinch harmonics. So, Chim Changer, it's European morning here, so it's 10:40. Here you have the chord shapes. That's some variation. And you can easily turn it into a riff. You know, I start with some chords and then I start picking the note individually in the chords. Yes, Lucifer, I do interact, but whenever I play like that, it's very intense, so I need to focus. But that was just an example of how I start out with rhythm, like I showed you, the chords, and I went into riffs, and I went into lead, I went back to rhythm and back and forth. And that's how I like to practice. And I think it's a very cool way to practice as soon as you gain some control over your riffs and over your licks. Then you should start combining them. You should never think of yourself as only, I think, a rhythm or only a lead guitarist. Because I always thought of myself as the crappiest rhythm guitarist in the world. I never could play rhythm guitar. But then recently I've started discovering that a lot of the stuff I do in lead, you can directly convert them to rhythm. So for example, if I can play, I would do, and I mean, it's very similar, but you play them on the lower strings, right? You play that lick on the lower strings, and maybe you add some chugs to kind of help getting a more of a groove and more of like some low end going. But a lot of the timing and the technique is the same. So there's no reason why you would only play lead or only play rhythm. Same goes with the rhythm. If you can play this, but you think, oh, I can't play lead. Well, I mean, it's very similar as well. You have the same kind of bend, same kind of tone, same kind of attack. So yeah, do mix them up. How long have I been practicing for? So I've been playing for around 30 years. I would say 10 years to really get some cool shops going, and it all depends on how devoted you are in your practicing. You can definitely make some super quick gains if you are constantly motivated when you practice. It's not necessarily about having those extra hours to spare every day. It's about being focused the time you have. So even if you just have 15 or 30 minutes, you can have a really good session. You know, if you prepared for it mentally, and you're making sure to be present in the moment as you're playing, and don't think about food or something as you're practicing, because that's not going to result in a good technique. Ah, random visitor, ready to scroll on. And then you played. Wow, I subscribed. I should probably play some more then. Okay. So, I'm in Stockholm, Sweden, Emmanuel. So should we try to find something else? I don't know, maybe do something in shuffle instead to see if those chords work there. This is more of a like a major feel, so it's not gonna work as well, but I tried with the chords here, but this is more like a Mixolydian majorish 7 bluesy sounding thing, and these minor chords don't necessarily work there. So the chords I showed you are more if you think like your classic heavy metal tune in E minor, Judas Priest or something, Metallica. As soon as you start getting into more fusion or bluesy stuff, the E minor tonality might not be the best one. Emmanuel from LA, that's awesome, man. So we're in completely different time zones. I'm still happy I could catch you. Ah, from Australia, you need to sub. Awesome, man. Gia Stone, doing good. Thank you. How are you doing? So I'm gonna keep on looking here and see if we can find something where we can use our chords. This is maybe E iota. There we have the E. So I'm also going to show you some licks that you can use with these chords so that you're not left only with the chords. And that's going to get a little bit trickier, but I still think it's worth showing you because I'm playing them now and I'm sure you're inspired to try. I've never tried surströmming. I would have loved to maybe, but I've seen so many videos of people basically dying when trying it. So, you know, there are so many other things I could eat. I don't have to try it quite yet. We'll see. I'll try swimming in winter first before I eat surströmming, I think. We'll see. My accent is from Stockholm, Sweden, probably. Or maybe from France, parce que je parle français aussi. Mais je crois pas que mon accent vient de là. Okay. Oh, we started at Berkeley. That's awesome. So yeah, sorry, I missed the question about Fireman there. I bought it fairly cheap, new, I think around, what is it, like $600 or $700, the equivalent. They didn't sell very well here in Sweden. I don't think they sold very well anywhere, even though they are really good guitars. So I couldn't resist at that price buying one, and I love it. It's very different. I like them a lot. I mean, they have Paul Gilbert all over them, but they're like this middle ground between hard rock and blues. I like it a lot. You don't quite have the power of your Les Paul humbucker, but that's not really the point either. It sounds like Paul Gilbert. The attack is just Paul Gilbert all over it. Pretty cool. So Bon Jovi, never listened a lot except for the the famous songs. Okay, well let's try some. So I've shown you some chords. What can you do with them? Well, of course you can gravitate towards your trusty E minor pentatonic box. That's perfectly fine. And in fact, I would argue if you combine some riffing with your standard pentatonic licks, they won't sound as standard anymore, because what we're really tired of hearing is just like, but if you give it some context, if you give it some rhythm, some riffing, then they start to sound awesome. So what are those licks? Well, there's a million, and that's obviously what I've been working on most for my 30 years of playing. Lots of stuff you can do, but it's just hard to beat classic hard rock licks that are played with how should I say, devotion and intensity. So if you already know some classic blues licks, like that's a very cool thing to use, especially if you add, well, if you keep your rhythm sound going, right, and you have lots of distortion going, and you can, you know, really attack those notes, squeeze some juice out of them. That works really well with Guess who's back? So, you like my hat from Canada. Is this a Canadian hat? Maybe it is. Didn't even know that. I don't know. There you have a little bit of seek and destroy. So, I think probably one of my favorite licks that kind of is really good at grooving along with the rhythm is this kind of thing. That's a boomer lick for sure. You can try this. So, we're going to be bending the 15th fret with the B string. As we do so, we're going to be supporting, even though we're only bending with this finger, we're going to be supporting with all three of these fingers. That means we're having them on the same string. It helps us push the bend up. It helps us give power and intensity to the coming vibrato. But we're just going to bend it up, and then we're going to play the 12th fret high E string. And what's so cool about this is you're actually playing the same notes but on two different strings. So we're bending up to the high E, to the E note, and then we're playing the E note on the high E string. So we get, and that's how you get the cool sound. But it doesn't end there. We're gonna go back to the 15th fret B string for a pull off. So we, and then we pull off to the 12th fret B string. And then we'll restart the whole thing. So we get, so if we try that, sorry, I don't even know who Gustavo or something is. Sorry about that. Maybe I've seen him, but I didn't know his name. So, if we have this, it's a very cool thing to combine with your riffing. So try to practice it, see how it works out. I should probably mention a few words, which is, you know, on a more advanced topic, how I deal with the picking here. I actually play a version of economy picking here. So I'm playing the first note with the downstroke, and then I'm doing two upstrokes in a row, and then I restart the pattern. So that's this is kind of key, right? DMH, yes, this is a Mesa Boogie Mark V. And of course, as I did there, you can combine it with your arpeggios, whatever. It's really cool to play, you know, neoclassical, shreddy arpeggios and then throw in some hard rock licks. It's an awesome contrast, I think. And then, of course, if you add some chords, which we spoke about, it gets even cooler. So this is a Gibson LPJ. So Les Paul Studio Junior, I think is what it's called. Locrian, ho! Sounds horrible. I prefer Phrygian dominant actually. If I'm going for that kind of thing. That's more exotic and a bit more melodic. If you can be you know, outside and exotic and oriental and still be very melodic, but the Locrian mode is a challenge, you know. Let's try it some more. It doesn't really resolve nicely. I would play it, then go back to E minor or just to standard minor. Lagrange. No, Lagrange. I thought you meant. It's not like that. I don't know what Larenga is. I read like ZZ Top Lagrange. Dan Kavasta, maybe heard of him. Indian classical ragas. No, I don't know any. Sorry, man. I wish I did. Boogie Blues. Gibson Les Paul Studio is amazing. It's better than the standards and that, but it's heavier, you know. So you can never go wrong with a Les Paul Studio. It's really heavy though. I bought this guitar super cheap new. They don't produce them anymore. That was like 10 years ago or something. An Gibson LPJ, and yeah, I love it. Maybe I wouldn't go on tour with it, but that's not an issue because I'm not on tour. So yeah. Someone asked for a boogie, and you know, I can't help myself, but I absolutely love boogies. So let's see if we can find, yeah, there we have one, rock boogie. Okay, so there you have a bit of ex-Japan. No, never done any that Japan metal rock. Sorry, man. I'm a big Marty Friedman fan, but I think he's more like a Japanese pop, right? I mean, I obviously listen to his older stuff, but... Oh, you deserve my subscription. Thank you so much, Paul. Hola, Juan. ¿Cómo está? I don't know the While My Guitar Gently Weeps solo. So I'm just going to see if I can find another boogie here. I think I had another one. Blues rhythm, rock boogie. Blues metal grooves, maybe that's what we're looking for, like a compromise. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? that one was a pretty cool backing track, but it didn't really have any low end to rely on there, so I just was conflicting constantly with with the rhythm guitar. So you don't really want your lead guitar and rhythm guitar to have the exact same frequency. It's going to be a clash there. This is nice. So G minor pentatonic, you can play on the 3rd fret or high up here on the 15th fret. Yeah, those Zakk Wylde days. That was a good time. Let's play down here in the 3rd possession. It's fun. It's always fun to break away and play some slow blues when you've done the shredding stuff. I love this kind of thing. I am working on not playing ahead of the beat. I find myself when I'm a little bit pushed, I try to play something cool for you guys. It's easy to get ahead of the beat, and that sounds like crap. So yeah, I don't do that as much when I practice on my own. So I've really tried to identify the differences. It sounds cool there, but it doesn't sound cool here. What's the difference? And I find a lot of times on stressing and being a little bit ahead of the beat, that doesn't work at all. So yeah. Can you funk? Ooh. Let's see if we can find something funky. What would be funky? I don't know how funky it is. I think we can add a little bit of funk to this. Yeah, the B minor. I think we can make it funky. I don't know Iris by Goo Goo Dolls. What I'm doing here is actually playing the B minor pentatonic scale, but with a swingy kind of rhythm, with a swingy type of phrasing. So instead of just doing it like this, I'm doing... Yeah, I'm not doing Amazing Grace. I don't know Amazing Grace, sorry. Chop Suey, I love it, but I never played it. Any easy legato licks that sound good. Let's see if I can come up with... These are a little bit harder, I would say. I would say something like this. This is a little bit easier. I messed up. So I think this would be a little bit easier. We can try that, and as you could hear, it sounds really cool when you get it up to tempo. This is not G minor pentatonic, this is B minor pentatonic, so 7th fret. So what I'm doing here is I start on the 7th fret high E string. And oh, trop fort, merci beaucoup, mec. So I start on the 7th fret here, and I hammer on the 10th fret. So hammer on would be where you don't pick, you use your finger to create sound. So pick, hammer on, and then pull off. So we're just picking once, and then we're producing two more notes with our left hand only. So pick, hammer on, pull off, and then pick again on the B string 10th fret. So that's our entire lick right there. Like that. But I have a couple of tricks going to make it sound even smoother. Let's see if you can spot them. So this is what I showed you. Could you spot them? Look at my right hand. So while it's a good idea to start with the way I showed you, picking and hammer-ons and pull-offs, what I find myself doing whenever playing up to tempo is actually to skip the picking and rely solely on hammer-ons from nowhere. So I'm the B string, I'm playing a hammer-on from nowhere. I'm not picking that note like that. And then I pick only one note on the high E string, because that's the hardest one to play with hammer-ons from nowhere. The index finger is not good at producing notes on its own, right? So I'm helping, but using the hybrid finger. So when I speed this up, I find myself only using my finger on my right hand. Check it out. I'm not playing it like this anymore. Let's try it in action. So not doing this. Play arpeggios. Alien, I'm not saying it's a trick for you to not use your pick. I'm saying that's what I do, and that's what helps me playing fast. I have a lot of content on hybrid legato. It's one of my absolute favorite techniques, and it not only helps me with this kind of thing, but also for, like, you know, fake picking like this. People think I'm picking every note, but it's just a hybrid legato thing. So if you look at my right hand, This is not a Les Paul. This is a Gibson LPJ, so it's a fairly cheap guitar, but it's still a Gibson, I guess. It is. Je suis Gabonais. Merci beaucoup. Eargasm. Ooh, I'm honored. Is your fingers picking the string at all, or just slightly touching like harmonic? So when I'm doing this, my fingers are picking. So pick, hammer on, hybrid picking. So the exact notes there, if you want to play this, would be 9, 10, 12, and then 9, 10, 12 on the next string. So just the same frets, all with hammer-ons or with pick and hybrid finger. So pick, hammer on, hybrid finger, hammer on. 9, 10, 12. And you can of course try to keep going that whole thing all the way up to the top. Is it necessary to learn music theory? I don't plan to become an academically trained musician. I just want to play the songs I like. No, here's the thing. There are lots of examples of great songwriters who didn't know any theory, but they did learn a lot of songs when starting out. So in a way, learning songs is a form of theory practice. Even though you might not understand the exact names of the scales and the tonalities and even the chords you're playing, you're still practicing the relation between the notes of the chords by learning these songs. So that's perfectly fine. And in general, you should never push yourself to learn theory unless you want to. I usually compare theory with a bit like learning the alphabet. There's no point in learning the alphabet before you learn how to speak, right? You would first spend many years trying to speak and communicate with people before you even attempt to write down what you're saying. And I would say it's similar with music theory. You would first spend many years learning songs, riffs, and licks. And when you've done that, you can start kind of piecing that together through the use of music theory. Not only that, but music theory, just like the alphabet, is going to help you communicate better with other musicians. So there are advantages to it, but it's not a game changer, and it's not something that should be pushed through. Just learn songs, spend a lot of time learning songs. That's good. Vous jouez aussi du seben. What is seben? Very nice guitar scale. From Romania. What's it doing, my man? What's up, my man? My mouth is not obeying my brain anymore. That's sign of weakness. How do I hold my pick? This is a good one. Here's how not to hold your pick. So like grab it in a pinch movement. It might feel okay up here, but what are you going to do with it down here? So that's really crappy. Don't ever grab your pick in a pinch movement. There are some examples of famous guitarists who've done this, but trust me, it's not for everybody. It's much better to naturally join your thumb and your index finger like this. This would be the natural way. And then just squeeze your pick in to like a 90-degree angle to the thumb. That's a good grip. That's how I hold it. This is natural, whereas the other one, the pinch movement, horrible. So that's a tip for you right there. How long have you been doing streams? So I've been doing them for years and years and years, but whoa, just the last week or so, I've been doing them every day around this time. And I like it a lot because it seems you guys keep returning, and it just inspires me to keep on doing them. So thanks a lot for being around. And if you're watching the replay, this is on my YouTube channel, obviously, if you want to catch it live next time. So yeah, pick slanting. I do use pick slanting, and pick slanting is a matter of angling your pick, right? Especially for like tune-up per string, fast pentatonics. I like to start with my pick parallel to the string, and then I angle it downwards like this. And it's really a game changer for the fast, like blazing pentatonics. Without that angle, I would constantly get stuck, you know, so it's important. Oh, sorry, I don't know Alvin and the Chipmunk. I wish I did. Sounds fun. I don't know any Children of Bottom either. Sorry. Bottom. So, I mean, it's been an amazing session, guys. You guys are the best. I can't believe how cool you are. You just tune in, and I would like to thank you for this session. I'm going to continue a bit more now, but as my brain deteriorates, just beware that things can only get worse. But let's do a little bit more over this groovy backing track. And I can show you the licks I've been speaking about throughout the session. I apologize for my faces. I can't help making them. Whenever I focus on not messing up, I'm not focusing on looking cool anymore. But in here, you can see me use some of the bluesier stuff I've shown you, but also some of the more aggressive stuff, which I haven't shown you yet, but we could definitely cover in another stream. I love SRV. To me, he's one of the greatest blues guitarists ever. I probably prefer him above, Hendrix and Clapton and that. I don't play the violin. This is a cello, actually. It's just very far away. And this is a family thing. My father's grandmother played this, and I have a painting of her playing it. So it belongs to the family, basically. Real Slim Shady. I don't know that. I don't think there's any guitar in there. So this guitar cost me like $600 new, and that was 10 years ago. Yeah, sure, I could grab the Iceman. That's a good idea. Or the Fireman. It's a Fireman, not an Iceman. Let's see. I haven't played it for a week or so, so I might have to tune it. Let's try it out. Just a quick string wipe here. I don't know, the less I know is better. I've been playing electric for 2 months and I haven't learned a single song still. That's okay. I mean, progress in the beginning is crazy slow. You know, that's your most important job as a beginner, is to suck but still keep on playing, you know. Sooner or later, it's gonna get good. Now, just a quick tune and we'll try this one. Judgment Day. It's the only Van Halen I know, sorry. Sweet dreams are. Pretty cool track. So let's try this guitar in action. B minor. It is a Paul Gilbert guitar after all, so I'm gonna have to do some of this. Of course, I'm no Paul Gilbert, so. Cool looking guitar. I like it with that little horn there, or whatever it is. Cool question about alternate picking. I wonder if that's the topic of another stream, because it's huge, and I've been going for over an hour. I don't think I could explain it very well now, but don't give up, man, John. You can play you much better than me, so never ever think about giving up just because you see someone else shred. Who cares about shredding? Only a few guitarists. What people care is about hearing someone's musical personality, and your musical personality is unique to you, man, so don't ever think about giving up. I'm from Stockholm, Sweden, and I've played for 30 years probably. You should never feel pain when practicing scale. You should stop playing and not play again until you feel no pain. Otherwise, you can injure yourself. I did that when starting out. I couldn't play for 6 months. And had I not gotten really good professional help, I wouldn't be playing today, so be careful. No, Ed Sheeran has not made a lot of money from 4 chords. It's from amazing artistry. I'm not a big fan, but the 4 chords don't help him a lot. It's, you know, the abundant, you know, creativity with new songs and just having played songs probably since he was a small baby. So the chords themselves are an important tool, but they're just a very small part of the journey. Playing with your favorite records, singing, grooving, that would be the Ed Sheeran route, plus a lot of creativity. So yes, you can learn a lot while being self-taught. I would consider myself self-taught. I took 1 year of private lessons with a Swedish shredder, Christian Niemann, very good guitarist. But my parents didn't teach me anything music-wise. My parents barely played anything musical at all. My dad played a little bit guitar, but we didn't connect guitar-wise, unfortunately, and we didn't even connect as adults in my adult life, so I didn't get anything from my parents. So I'm self-taught. I learned a lot from my co-instructors on the GMC website. But that was when I already started teaching professionally, so it was way back. So yeah, self-taught rocks. I mean, I like it. I am 43. Actually, it's my birthday today, so I'm 43 years old, finally. How to pinch harmonics in low string. Yeah, that's tricky. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, to do pinch harmonics there, I kind of really re-angle my thumb like this, and that's in order to be sure that I hit the string aggressively with my thumb. If that's the string, right after the pick strike, you know, that's how you do it. And you're gonna have to search for them on the low E string. I'm not getting many of them right here. Bar chords. A little bit of everything in there, I guess. You asked for Metallica and Pantera. I did a bit of Megadeth as well. Really sorry about that. No, I played a lot in bands before, but it's been a while now. Or I didn't play a lot, but I played in a few bands. I'm not Howard Wolowitz. Play walk. Oh yeah. Do it. Oh, du hast. I don't know more than that, but the other one is... No. Something like that at the end. No, I'm not from the US. I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. You know John Pelosi? No, I don't. Canadian guitar playing teacher. Where is Nagaland? Sorry, I'm just playing some random stuff now. I don't know many of the tracks you're requesting. AC/DC Highway to Hell. dynamite. I don't know that. Thank you, John. Thanks a lot. Means the world. Orion, no. Someone requested. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know. Led Zeppelin. Sorry. So what effects am I on currently? Here we go. Here are some effects. So currently I'm using a TS-808 two screamer, and I'm using a little bit of parallel compression. I use the Wampler Ego, and I also use a Dynacomp, not so much for compression, but as a booster, so I maximize the output. And then I have a little bit of time-based delays. So if I turn off the time-based delay and reverb, sorry, time-based effect, so delay and reverb, here you can hear the dry signal. Now the wet signal, you can hear there's a little bit of a tail, right? Can you hear that? If I remove reverb and delay, it's dry, okay? Likewise, I can remove the distortion and the compression, and now we have a sound that isn't... It's actually pretty nice, but it isn't as high gainy. It's more like a fusion sounding. Would work pretty good, I think, in a fusion setting. And then, of course, I'm using also the gain coming from the Mark IV voicing on this Mesa Boogie Mark V amp, which of course does a lot to the sound as well. So it's a little bit of everything there. It's a mix. Ooh, far beyond the sound. Far beyond the sound, I don't know. I can't play any Ingrid right now, it seems. So he would do like a... Whoops. There's your difficult solo, Muimi. I hope it satisfies you. Just jamming away in the style of Yngwie here. I was trying to riff in the style of Yngwie, but that didn't work out. How much do I play per day? I would average, say I average around 1 to 2 hours of like focused playing and practicing. These days, it goes up and down, you know. Usually during winter, I play more than during summer. It's because in Sweden we have such long and dark winters. In fact, there's a theory that that's why we have Yngwie and some other shredders, because of our long winters. So whenever summer arrives, it's nice to get a little bit of sun before winter comes back. So yeah. So hopefully I'm going to be averaging on more than 1 to 2 hours per day the coming months, maybe even 3 or 4 hours. I don't know any Fallout Boy, sorry. Advice on how to get better at guitar. Well, you could watch the replay. We spoke quite a bit about the different tips for that. So I'm just going to give you a general tip now, and that is to actually follow your heart. I know it sounds like something stupid, but What I mean by that is play stuff that you like, you know. That's the number one thing. If you play something because someone else tells you to, from my experience, that's the first step in putting the guitar down. So just follow your heart and play stuff that you like. And if you want to start working on your technique, playing exercises, be sure to create those exercises out of material that you like listening to. So if your dream is to play some fast Ingve part, and you like the sound of that, then turn that into an exercise, so that everything you do, regardless of whether it's an exercise that you practice for a long-term goal, or whether it's a riff you're playing for short-term just to reward yourself, always keep that within the framework of music you love listening to. That's my most important and general advice. Oh, can't play anything. I don't know Joni Mitchell. Who's that? Cool. So I've kept going now for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think that's a high score recently. I'd love to keep on playing, and it pains me to just leave when all you guys are here, but I know that things are going to go downhill from here, so I need a little break. But I will meet you tomorrow, and we'll have a lot of fun as well. And I just want to thank you for tuning in. You guys are the best. Such a positive atmosphere. I come into these streams, I might feel exhausted and tired or sad or whatever, and I come out and you fill me with joy. So my goal is to do the same for you guys as well. I hope you had a good time here, and I hope I can enlighten your days or brighten your days with these streams, and we can have a good time together and just hang out and play guitar and do whatever is fun. Now, we did also cover a topic here, which is the topic of chords. And more specifically, like alternative to your average power chords. So I do invite you to watch the replay, especially the first like 15-20 minutes, where I go through some example of cool chords you can use in the key of E minor. And it's suitable for all levels. It's not super fancy. The rest of the stream was just me shredding away, right? But the first 20 minutes were not. So there's something there for you to learn. So be sure to watch the replay. Yeah. I hope you're going to have a good time and a good day. And you've been wonderful. I've been Kristofer Dahl. Have a good one. See ya. Cheers.